Okie dokie, boys and girls. So, I'm not gonna lie, I'm recording this intro talk in between sits on the Nordic curl because I was like, what the fuck am I gonna talk about? I failed the pistol squat, or, I bombed pistol squats. I'm not as strong as I used to be. Where the hell do I go from here? What the hell do I have to tell you? I'm weak, right? And I think I figured it out because I was thinking about this training, like, what the hell am I gonna do? And well, basically, if I'm not able to, get higher weight on the pistol squat, then there's another option of just, getting a lower weight for more reps. And this brought me to a topic that I have talked about in the past as well, but I had kind of forgotten it myself. So I'm talking to you not only, to bring over the bit of knowledge, but also just to remind myself. And that is, you don't always have to aim for the biggest PRs. There are so many things that you can consider a PR, even just training in itself, right? Staying consistent for multiple days on end can be a PR. I have been consistent in my training for what, like 300 days now? I've trained in a row. That's a PR. I've never done that before. But aside from that, I'm not talking about just the consistency PR today. Like in your training, when you're aiming to improve something, you're aiming to get stronger at a certain skill, in my case, the 1 rep max on the pistol squat, at some point you're gonna hit a wall. And at that point, you kind of have to deviate, you have to kind of find a similar way that's gonna get you some progress on your original goal, but also allow you to just, focus on something else for a while. So for me, what that's gonna be, if I'm not able to do 56, 60 kilo pistol squats, right? If I'm just stuck there, I can try and keep hitting 1 rep maxes. I'm not gonna get it. What I have to do is I kind of have to take, a step back and take another way. Always lead to Rome, always lead to a 60 kilo pistol squat. Eventually, if I just keep pistol squatting, right? If I keep training my legs. So what I'm trying to say here is in today's workout, I'm not gonna do super intense loaded stuff, right? I'm not gonna do super heavy stuff. I'm doing bodyweight Nordics right now. I'm gonna do relatively light pistol squats later on with like 34 kilos. That's not a challenging weight for me. But when I think about it, lately I haven't tried to hit PRs on lower weight. I've just been trying to hit weights for the purpose of going higher and higher and higher on my 1 rep max, but it's not enough. I have to build a base, right? I was talking about this last time. Building a base takes patience, and a good way to build a base is to do those lower weights and aim for more reps, because if you can do something for a lot of reps, well, that's a solid base you have right there. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take those 34 kilos. I'm going to, depends on the time really, but I'm going to try and do it for a lot of reps. And then next time when I do it for even more reps, right? Or even look at my total for the week. How many reps can I do with 34 kilos in 1 week? Something like that. I will try and challenge it, not only from the week until Japan right now, but also when I come back from Japan and I'm able to pistol squat again, that's going to be my focus for a while. I think that's really just the way forward. And oftentimes it's frustrating, right? I'm frustrated that I'm not able to just go out there and squat 60 kilograms. But it's important in those moments. Of course, you're fucking frustrated. That's going to be happening. But it's important to be able to take a step back and just look at the situation. What is the best option you have? Is the best option to quit? Of course, it's fucking not. Is it the best option to just do the same shit over and over that's been failing you? Of course not, right? You bake the same, like you take the same recipe, you're gonna get the same cake, right? So you have to do something else. Just have to find another way that will allow you to grow. And eventually, you're gonna hit the wall there as well, take a step back, go to your original goal, and perhaps break the original wall, right? So that's kind of the premise of today's workout. So I'm gonna do one more set of Nordic curls. I don't know how many I've shown already, but I'm doing 3 sets of Nordic curls. And yeah, after that, I'll catch you for some pistol squats. There's the pussycat. Meow, meow. Oh, nope. That's not happening. Okay, so I forgot to record, but I was doing a warm-up set here with just a backpack, which is difficult for the mobility, because it's pulling you backward. You have to lean forward a bit. You have to, have mobile ankles, and basically by focusing on mobility in the warm-up, it's going to be easier during the training, but whatever, right? Nordic curls, I think 5 reps, and then 8 reps, which is by no means a rep PR for a training, because my PR is like 40 in one training, but still, it's more than last time, right? And you can have this mindset in your training of either only being happy with lifetime PRs or being happy with doing more than last time. And which one of those is gonna give you, the most healthy mind, basically, right? Which is gonna be the most healthy for your mindset? I think the answer is pretty obvious, right? If you're only happy with lifetime PRs, eventually your moments of happiness will dwindle down to a very limited amount, because as you train more, as you become stronger, not only do you have to spend energy maintaining what you have already built, you also have to, put on even more energy, even more effort to get those diminishing returns. Still worth it, in my opinion, but just the lifetime PRs are gonna come less and less and less. So when you're doing that, right, when you're hitting those, or when you become more advanced, switching to a mindset of being happy with just doing more than last time, right? I think it's gonna keep you, well, better mentally suited to continue training, because otherwise you're gonna start hating it, right? If every time you didn't get a lifetime PR, it was a failure, right? You would associate training with failure. Well, training in itself is a success. So yeah, that's why I prefer to just, not only look at the lifetime PRs, but also be kind of happy with, hey, even though my last couple trainings sucked and I got worse, I'm back on the upward trend. That's something you can be happy about. So anyway, I warmed up, like I said. Now I'm gonna take 34 kilos for a couple sets and basically try to get some reps with it. I mean, how much fucking time do I have left? Because I have to make sure I get to work. Yeah, we'll see how many sets. I think it will be somewhere between 5 and 10 sets. And basically, I'm gonna do a slow and controlled negative and go back up. That's the first point. But try to aim for some reps. I'm gonna keep the reps low for now, because I'm just gonna gauge how easy this is. So I'm gonna do like 3 reps and maybe 4 on the later sets. But basically, this is gonna be like a benchmark for me when I get back from Japan to start repping out, well, pistol squats with 34 kilos. Perhaps I can eventually get even to 100 reps in a week or something, right? So let's go. Whew, feels heavy. Okay, so coming down here just to do a quick pump check, because these sets where you do low reps, or these trainings where you do low reps with high sets, I feel like they really work the legs. You have the benefits of doing heavy squats, or kind of heavy today in my case, but still you're getting a lot of volume, so that combination, I really like it. Whew. I'll check how they're looking in the video afterwards, but today I did the bare minimum, 5 sets, 3 reps, 15 reps in total. But what I'm gonna do is I actually have a bit more than a week left until I head to Japan. So I have time to basically train next time as well and gauge how many reps I can get in the pistol squat for basically a period of 6 days. I'm not gonna do a week because my training cycle is push-pull legs. So if I take 6 days, that's like one complete cycle. And basically, as a rule, I have to do 80% of my pistol squats on leg day. And then on other days, I'm allowed to fill in 20% of extra reps, Chris the Groove style, right? So today I did 15. Let's say I do 15 reps on the next training as well. That's 30. Then what the fuck is 20% of 30? I don't know. 5? I think it's 5. So I'm allowed to do, or 6. It's 6. I'm allowed to do 6 extra reps basically to get to my total of 100% my reps in the 6 days. So if I were to do that, 36 reps, of course, but I think I can do way more, you know. What the fuck is that? There's like a really big bug in my house. Okay, anyway, I'll take care of that in a moment. Yeah, I feel like, of course, I'm able to do more. I didn't feel strong today, so it's not gonna be like 36. That's my max effort. No, that's my baseline, you know. That's something I can do every week I want, basically, even if I'm not feeling too good. And it's from there that I want to, you know, build up my body to be able to handle more. Eventually, perhaps even, you know, 40 reps in each training and then 20 reps on the side, 100 reps in total. We'll see. But if I'm able to handle such amount of reps on 34 kilos, well then certainly I'm going to be able to handle 36 kilos for a little bit more or a little bit less reps, right? You know, gradually up the weight, and then the reps are going to come down, but try to get them back up to 100 and build my base that way. And you know, for me, I have a lot of struggle being patient, but I really want to make sure, you know, that I get this benchmark right, and that in the coming months after Japan, I'm able to patiently build that base up. Because, you know, as long as I'm staying in, you know, good rep ranges for my training, and I'm not trying to force myself to just hoist some heavy weight, I feel like I'm progressing. It's just, you know, when I feel like I'm getting stronger, I want to just horse cock weight immediately, and then I fail to get a 1 rep max basically. But yeah, that's going to be the plan, I think, coming back from Japan, and the benchmark happens now. So that's it for today's training. You know, small PRs are still PRs, you know, don't forget that. So I'm not going to be able to, or I would be able to aim for 1 rep maxes, but I'm not gonna, you know. Am I gonna? That's the meme, right? I'm not gonna do that because it's not gonna get me results in the long run. I want results in the long run so that I can eventually hit 75 kilos on the pistol squat. So that's it for today's leg day. Tomorrow we have another push day, which I'm looking forward to a lot. So I'm gonna have a shower, have some breakfast, and see you tomorrow.